Okay, next up we're looking at the dot product. The dot product is an operation you can do on two vectors, but the two vectors have to be the same size. The way you get the dot product is by multiplying the first two entries together, multiply the second entries together, and so on, and then you add all that up. So this is what you get. And dot products, you can use it with two vectors. They can be column vectors, row vectors, or one of each. It doesn't really matter. But like for this first example, the dot product of these is going to be, we're going to do 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, plus 1 times 1 is 1. So you wind up with 13 minus 10 is 3. Over here, the dot product of these guys is 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 times negative 3 times 8, that's negative 24. So the dot product of those is 0. And let's do one more. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3 dotted with 4, 0, 7. The dot product of these would be 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 times 0, plus 3 times 7, give you 25. Dot products can be used for different things. One example, actually before we do that, I'm sort of going off script here. One way you could use the dot product is, let's say you had two vectors. Let's say this was the number of pennies, nickels, and dimes that you had. If you take that and you dotted it with 0.01 for pennies, for nickels, and for dimes, that dot product there would give you the amount of money you've got. So anyway, it is a useful thing. And it's interesting to me that this textbook doesn't talk about dot products until now. Most of the time, in the books that I've taught out of before, dot products were introduced early and used to define matrix multiplication. Because when you do a matrix multiplication, you're doing a dot product of the rows of the first matrix with the columns of the second. So if we multiplied this out, well, first up, I find it hard to do a matrix do matrix multiplication without first writing out the sizes. This first one is 2 rows by 3 columns. This is 3 rows by 3 columns. So they are compatible. And we're going to get a 2 by 3 out of this. And we're going to dot product these things. So if I take the dot product of this and that, I get 5 plus 0 minus 1. If I take the dot product of these two, I get 2 plus 0 plus 1, which is 3. And if I take the dot product of these, I get 2 plus 0 plus 0. All right, now I'm going to dot product the bottom row with each of these. And I'm not going to highlight them individually. Let's see, we get 5 minus 1. Then we get 4 plus 1. And then on the last one we get we get 4 plus 7 is 11. So you can define matrix multiplication in terms of a bunch of dot products. And I've got it written out up here if I sort of skipped over it. But yeah, the entry CJ is going to be dot product of the ith row of A and the jth column of B. All right, so that's the dot product. We're going to use that to find the angle between two vectors, and we'll do that in the next video.